Hey everybody, it's Homesteading with Sadie. I'm Robin.
And I'm Bob.
And so today we are going to talk about the 100-day challenge. So we've gone 43 days on whole food, plant-based diets. We've been eating vegan. I've had a little milk, a couple eggs that were in some bread somebody made me. And then I was sick, so I had some chicken broth. But I didn't have the chicken, just the broth. But basically 43 days of eating vegan. So how do you feel?
I actually feel good. Do you?
Well, I did. I got sick with some touch of the flu or something, but other than that, yeah. I think the milk and the dairy products gave me a foggy brain. After I stopped the dairy, my mind was a little more clear. That's what I noticed. So we started off doing non-processed foods. We ended up going mostly plant-based and vegan. We haven't had any meat in 43 days. Lots of beans. But, so we're going to show you what we ate this week. Then we're back to tell you what we're going to do going forward. All right, so our local burger place in town actually has some veggie burgers, and we tried the veggie burgers. They were actually pretty decent. They also have the Beyond Meat. I think we're going to try that next time, but the veggie burgers were actually kind of tasty. So we had that on one of our night's dinners. Then we also tried cabbage rolls. These cabbage rolls had couscous and kale and some tomato sauce, parsley. They were not good, and this will not be a repeat dinner. So we're nixing that off of the menu. We did make loaded lentil nachos, and these were absolutely delicious. So we took some tortillas and made them into nachos, took some lentils and some taco seasoning, and then we made a sauce out of some potatoes and green onions, cilantro, and poured it over. And of course I add strawberries to mine because I love strawberries. But this was actually really good, and we will be repeating this dish. It's loaded lentil nachos. Alrighty, and for another meal that we made this week was stuffed mushrooms. It was sweet potato stuffed mushrooms. So here I am. I'm going to show you how we made it. I love my Instapot. So I put a cup of water in the Instapot. I washed off my sweet potatoes and poked a little hose in them. I put the little tray in the bottom of the Instapot, and then I put my sweet potatoes inside the Instapot on the tray. I put 4 of them in there. And then I will set the Instapot. So if you don't own one of these Instapots, they're really neat. It's a pressure cooker. What you have to do is set the top on, make sure the steam release valve is closed, and then lock it. And then I set mine at 14 minutes. And while my sweet potatoes are cooking in the Instapot, I am going to take a yellow onion and chop it up real fine. Then I'm going to take some baby portobello mushrooms. And these are going to be what I stuff. So we're going to remove the stems from the mushrooms. And this is really easy. They just pop right off. I will be using the stems. I will be cutting them up and putting them in the onion saute. I actually ended up using 2 packages of the portobello mushrooms. So then I am going to get about a half a cup or a cup of water and put it in a large saute pan. Turn the heat on medium to high and start sauteing my onions. And after a few minutes of sauteing the onions, I am going to add about 3 teaspoons of minced garlic. And stir that around. I'm going to add my mushrooms the stems that I chopped up finely. And I'm going to stir that around and let it saute for a minute. I'm going to add about a half a cup of vegetable broth to give it some good flavor. Put it in there and stir it around. And then I'm going to take the caps of my mushrooms. I did wash them off. And I'm going to put them in the pan with the seasonings. After I get them all in the pan, I am going to cover the pan and cook it for about 3 to 5 minutes on a simmer. And you can see my Instapot has been slowly depressurizing. And my potatoes are now done. So I'm going to take my sweet potatoes out of the Instapot and remove the skins. So after I get the skins off of my sweet potatoes, I am then going to mash them in the bowl. And I had some frozen spinach in the microwave that I was thawing out. So I'm going to add the spinach to my sweet potatoes. And then I'm going to mix those two ingredients well. And about this time, my mushroom caps are completely cooked the way I want them. So I'm going to remove them from the pan. And then I'm going to take the remaining mixture, which was the onions, garlic, and the mushroom stems, and I'm going to add that to my sweet potato mixture. And I'm going to stir the mixture up really well. Then I'm going to get a pan, and it's going to be lightly greased with some oil. Put my mushroom caps on them, and I'm going to stuff each of the mushroom caps with my sweet potato mixture. Some of the mushrooms were pretty small, but I stuffed them anyway. And as soon as I get them all stuffed, I'm then going to put it in a 350-degree oven for about 10 to 15 minutes to make sure everything's all nice and warm. And these turned out really delicious, but I'll have to tell you, it was not all that filling. It's more like an appetizer. And finally, for dinner on another day, we did a vegetable hoagie. I just took a bunch of vegetables, cut them up, some spinach, put a couple peppers, arugula, cucumbers, put it in a good hoagie roll, and we had a vegetable hoagie for dinner. All right, so that's what we had for the week. And our chickens are still not laying eggs, so we're not going to add eggs back into the diet plan until our chickens have their own eggs, because we don't really trust the store eggs. The cage-free is not cage-free, and pasture-raised is hard to find. So we're going to wait till our chickens start laying some eggs, which should be any day. Did you check today?
Any day. Check every morning.
So no eggs yet. And I think we're going to add a little bit of the dairy back in, maybe just a little bit of cheese, more on the lines of like feta and goat cheese, and not any of the processed cheddar cheese.
Yeah, no, none of that.
Yeah, just a little bit of maybe goat and feta. And I think we might add some chicken, pasture-raised chicken back into the diet. Not a lot, just a little bit, just to get that B12, I guess.
Maybe a little bit of fish too.
I'm a little worried about the mercury in the fish. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see what we can find.
I think maybe Alaskan caught fish might be the best without mercury. But maybe some fish. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do going forward. We still have how many more days?
Well, if we've gone 43, we still got 57 to go.
57 more days. But I think in reality, it's probably just going to be a lifestyle change, not just 100 days.
Yeah, it's going to be, because this processed meat is, the more you look at it and the more you look and feel now, I feel a lot better. I've lost weight. My energy level seems to be up. Besides you being sick, we haven't really had any issues.
Yeah, and I think just from me being a little sick, and it does take a lot of prep. It takes a lot of prep work to do
Yes.
vegan. We found some really good recipes. We try not to repeat too many recipes. We do a lot of tacos though, the black bean tacos. But we've done black bean tacos prior to this.
Prior to it, yeah.
And I'm not really a big meat eater anyway. In different recipes, we found a few really good ones. And we'll probably repeat those.
And yeah, we found a few that we're definitely going to do again. Because they
Yeah.
were actually very good.
And some of the burgers we made were pretty good. That one...
The mushroom burgers were, that was a lot of prep time, but they were worth it.
Yeah,
Very
and we
good.
haven't had fast food, so... well, full disclosure, we did go out of town and we had that Impossible Burger from Burger King. So that was the only fast food we've had in the last 43 days.
That's
But
it.
we were out of town and we were hungry, so it was the Impossible Burger or the Impossible Whopper,
Yeah, that's what it was.
and it was actually decent.
Wasn't bad. Was not bad.
I think it tasted like the Whopper because of all the ingredients and the sauce they put on the Whopper.
Yeah,
So, but full disclosure, that's the only fast food we've had is because when we were out of town, remember with the dog video, when we were looking at property, we had an Impossible Burger. So that was what we've been doing for the past 43 days, and going forward, I will still show you our food preps, and we'll add just a little bit of chicken in. I don't think we're gonna go with, oh, you need a whole big slab of chicken. I think I'm gonna do more like shred up some chicken and make chicken salad or something. We did find some good vegan mayonnaise,
yes, we did.
so it actually is good.
Yeah. I can
So.
definitely see that that's going to be a keeper. Because looking at all the other mayonnaises out there, wow. A lot of the ingredients you would never think of.
Yeah, so we've been watching, I don't really need to plug his channel because he's got like over 300,000 subs, but it's called Flav City, and I kind of talk about it all the time, so the big joke around where I work is if it's been Bobby approved or not. But he actually will do grocery stores, go in the grocery store and look at the ingredients, and it's amazing the ingredients in all the foods. Just probably what, 20% of the food that is actually Bobby approved,
Yeah. If that. But I do catch us doing it. Or even if I'm in the grocery store myself, I'll be doing it, and everybody like just kind of looks at me, and it's like, nope, put that back.
Yeah, it takes a long time to go to the grocery store because we're really concerned about the processing of the food, not necessarily what we're eating, but the processing that we're eating. So, you know, when you get peanut butter, we're doing the all natural peanut butter because it's not really any sense of having 50 ingredients in a jar of peanut butter when it's
Right.
just peanuts. So I'd encourage you to watch Flav City. I'll put the link, or do your own research, but Flav City actually really does a good job in pointing out the good, bad, and the ugly at local supermarkets. He does Costco, Sam's, Target, Walmart. I think he's in Chicago, so whatever he has in Chicago, Aldi's. So we've just been really concerned with the processing of our food. So going forward, the next 50, how many days?
57.
57 days. So, as always, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications. And we will see you on the next video.